Is it reasonable for me, 27M, to be hesitant to marry my girlfriend, 24F, because of her views of money? I, 27M, work as a software engineer. I've been with my girlfriend, 25 female, who works as a project manager and part-time model, for around 10 years. We get along very well and can resolve nearly any problem. But we've been having conflicts over money. We live in California. My girlfriend comes from a wealthy family of East Asian immigrants. My family is black, but still upper middle class. Her family didn't acknowledge me until recently, when I came into a decent amount of money because of a start-up I helped to build. Even before that, I've always made at least double what she did. I was always happy to pay for dates, and pay for a percentage of rent and utilities based on my percentage of our combined income. So, for most of our relationship I've been paying 2/3 of our combined bills. That being said, she is due to potentially inherit a lot of money and assets from her parents when they pass. It would be equal to, if not more valuable, than my investments. I habitually don't spend a lot of money. I have mild anxiety around finances, so I've always saved half of my salary, driven cheap cars, and fully funded my retirement accounts. The only thing I really splurge on is my electronics hobby, and even then I usually sell or give away what I build. My girlfriend spends more than I do, but stays within our budget. I occasionally tell her to save more, but her habits aren't gonna make her broke. I've tried to bring her into conversations about our finances, or talk about my work, but she always shuts down. She's let me handle most of our financial planning because she isn't interested. Over the last couple of years, my girlfriend has started to say things that have concerned me. She said that one of the reasons her family didn't like me was because they thought I wasn't ambitious enough, and wouldn't earn a high enough salary. She's told me that earlier in our relationship she was considering leaving me if I didn't make enough money. She still works, and says that she never wants to be a stay-at-home spouse, but there is definably an expectation that I'll be the primary breadwinner. I'm afraid that she's with me because of how much I make. I'm afraid that someday she'll get bored of me and leave. I'm not so much afraid that she'll take half of what I've saved because she's been very open to a prenup. My fear is that my income won't keep growing to her satisfaction, and she'll just decide to move on to someone who makes more. In the past, when I've tried to breach the subject, she's been avoidant. When I ask her how much she expects me to make, or when she expects me to make it, she'll tell me that she doesn't know. But, she wants to be able to travel internationally with the family twice a year, drive a fancy car, and buy clothes in Europe. I don't want to paint her as a gold digger. She's a very loving and empathetic person, who was with me even before I made as much as I do now. It seems like another guy asks her out every month, but she's never even responded to them. And she's given me the password to her phone. She even faced the possibility of getting disowned by her family to be with me. Is there any way that I can put my fears to rest, or broach the subject without sounding accusatory? Or, does it just not make sense to commit to her until I'm more secure? And #X200B. Too long did not read. I currently make a lot more money than my girlfriend does. I'm afraid that she'll leave me if my income does not continue to grow. This has caused me to hold off on proposing to her. And #X200B. Edit. This is not a troll post. I edit the ages in each post I make on any account for the sake of anonymity. I wouldn't post them at all if the sub didn't require ages. I'm dating the same girl as in that post, we got over our issues. Same company that I mentioned in my old post iPod, which lead to the current post. You have every reason to be hesitant. At the end of the day, you are entering a legally bound business arrangement when you marry. Choose wisely. I see you are more worried about your income being enough. You won't know for sure no matter what you do. Don't let that stop you from enjoying life. Being anxious can ruin the marriage. Miscommunication, sex, and money are all the top reasons why people get a divorce. Premarital counseling is highly suggested, as well as individual counseling to determine your value system. From there you should operate from that value system. I cannot say if you should stay or not, only you can, but listen to your gut and think through your decisions. Count the cost of each decision. Good luck, my friend. Everything you are seeing is very common with East Asian, Southeast Asian, South Asian families. Lots of focus on money, prestige, etc. Unfortunately, massive racism against black people also. Source: am from Southeast Asian, South Asian family, previously dated a black woman. You can discuss maintaining separate finances. It's a lot more commune than people think it is. Based on your post, I can definitely understand your concerns. She definitely seems like a keep up with the Jones type. She said that one of the reasons her family didn't like me was because they thought I wasn't ambitious enough, and wouldn't earn a high enough salary. She's told me that earlier in our relationship she was considering leaving me if I didn't make enough money. She still works, and says that she never wants to be a stay-at-home spouse, but there is definably an expectation that I'll be the primary breadwinner. What the fuck? I wouldn't even propose to her before this statement has been thoroughly discussed and resolved. I don't want to paint her as a gold digger. Well, you failed. She's a very loving and empathetic person. If you don't make enough money, I'm gone. Very empathetic. Wait, I'm confused. You made a post a little over 3 months ago that you are 22 and your girlfriend is 20. Is this real or was your other post fake? Troll post. Dude, if you're gonna make a bunch of different stories up, make a new throwaway account. 10 years is probably pushing it. She lets you manage the finances and is okay with a prenuptial, so nothing seems like a red flag. East immigrant, she's probably more loyal than most American ladies, but honestly usually ladies won't stick around for more than 8 years without marriage in sight, so you've had it easy. Your spending habits will differ and usually ladies buy things that seem like a waste of money to guys. It's normal. Maybe see what kind of wedding and ring she wants. If it's high priced, then maybe consider having a conversation about responsible spending. Should I break up with my girlfriend of 5 years? To whoever may come across this. Me and my girlfriend are high school sweethearts. We've been together since 2016 and we've been living together for a bit more than a year. I consider her to be my best friend, and we have been for like 7 years. She was never super loving or physical, but lately it's been so apparent to me that she's uncomfortable with me in some way or another. I keep saying to myself that it's because she's a workaholic, since she's always in school or work, never taking time for herself. But even then, she should show affection sometime, no? Our 5-year anniversary was around 6 days ago and the day after we were arguing already. She never kisses me, I always kiss her, and she barely puts in any effort. Same with hugging, flirting, sometimes cuddling, and affectionate shit like that. Sometimes when we talk I feel she's with me out of necessity, and not because she loves me. Can't believe I'm gonna type this and post it, but even with sex. I've never pushed myself on her, and never will, and I say that because I always feel like I'm not enough in those situations. She never gets wet, she says it's too painful, she says I'm too big, sure thing, but surely something I do would turn her on in some way, right? Or is it that I'm not enough? That she just doesn't feel anything for me and is simply uninterested in me? Should I break up with her? I don't want to lose my best friend, but I don't want to waste either of our times. Edit. I have tried to talk to her about this before. It always ends up in her being defensive or us crying because we don't want to break up. It's very hard to navigate this since I don't want the conversation to feel like I'm blaming her for something we don't know might be her fault or not. Edit 2. Emotional support. She has been there emotionally for me in the past. But recently she's somewhat neglected me in that sense. I'll tell her I feel I might be depressed or alone and she seems to brush it off or simply say she's there for me. I got her out of an abusive relationship with her mom, and whenever she needs me I'm more than happy to drop anything I'm doing and simply be there. I don't want her to pay that back, I'm glad I helped. I simply ask for compassion in any way. If you read this and have questions, ask. I'll try to respond. Tell her everything you've wrote in this post. If you can't bring yourself to say it, then write it down for her to read. Be honest. From what you say, something does sound very wrong and it's far better to end it now than when true resentment creeps in. Withdrawal of affection usually signifies that someone has checked out of the relationship but hasn't found the courage to end it. Is that been going on for 5 years straight? While she doesn't initiate, does she reciprocate? You should definitely consider breaking up with her. I had a high school sweetheart that was actually my best friend all throughout middle school. So we dated for about 3 years on, off, and she ended up cheating on me. Towards the end of the relationship, she actually did a lot of the things you described here. It seems like she wants the relationship to end, but just can't bring herself to end it. From experience I can tell you, it might not even be you. It might be something with her. Maybe at a young age she didn't receive affection so she doesn't know how to give it now. Maybe she has mental blocks or emotions she's never dealt with. Maybe she doesn't know how to process emotions well so she doesn't show any. Truthfully, communicating with her is the best option to see where her head is at. Don't blame yourself, you're always enough. She may be asexual and be uncomfortable with all that stuff. Doesn't mean she doesn't love you. Talk to her. Whatever you do, don't do something irresponsible like talk to her. If you really want to stay with her, as a couple, then you should tell her this stuff and ask what she's into. Maybe there's something she likes that you aren't doing. Honestly though, I think it's possible that she friend-zoned you a long time ago, even though you two are in a relationship. Sounds more like you guys are better friends than partners. Either way, you're not going to know unless you ask her. That's the only chance you have of salvaging your friendship or your relationship. Girlfriend, F23, cheated on me, M23, and told everyone I cheated on her. In the end of July. My girlfriend had a lot of pain in her stomach. She went to the hospital to check it. She got a cyst on her ovary. They also checked if she had any STDs. She had none. In the beginning of August the first went on holiday with some friends for a week. In the end of August, she went to the hospital again, because she still had a lot of pain. They checked it again, and she tested positive on chlamydia. We were both so shocked. We talked with each other if someone cheated, but we trusted each other. 4 weeks ago I also got the results from my STD test and I also tested positive on chlamydia. 3 weeks ago she came over and broke up with me, because she thinks I cheated on her. I didn't do anything. She even left a letter for my parents. In that letter she said that I did so much wrong in the relationship and that I cheated in the end and gave het chlamydia. I told my friends and my family about it and they told me, come on, wake up, she cheated on you. I just couldn't believe it. We never had that much struggle and the moments we had were so pure. I tried to get over it and let it rest. Till yesterday. A friend of mine had seen my ex-girlfriend on a dating app. He was so convinced that she cheated on me that he made a fake profile and tried to match her. He matched her and came up with a fake story to gain her trust. Then she admitted that she had sex with her ex-boyfriend, who is 40, while she was in the relationship with me. My friend showed me the screenshots and I'm so fucked up now. I just can't believe this happened. The way she turned this whole story on me while she was the one that cheated blows my mind. Her parents hate her ex-boyfriend and I think she panicked when she tested positive for chlamydia, because someone maybe would found out that she had sex with her ex-boyfriend. Then she came with this fucked up story that I cheated on her in my holiday. I have the proof that she cheated. Should I confront her, tell her parents or just let it rest? Please help me Reddit. I'm so fucked up. Yes, you should clear your name. Don't take the fall for someone not worth it. Probably she cheated on you and made the first move in this shitshow chess. I would advise you to spread the truth in the world. Not as vengeance but to clear your name. I've been in your shoes and what saved my group of friends was the decision of exposing everything to everyone. Best luck. Put it all out on social media. Clear your name. Didn't you post, then delete, this exact same thing a couple of weeks ago? Nothing's changed. Why keep talking about it? Just put it on social media. Do not contact her. This is really shitty advice but you should just send the screenshots of her sleeping with her ex to her parents. Fuck her. And telling your parents and everyone else some fucked up story sucks. Other than that just let it go. She sucks, keep moving forward bro. She had no issue trying to put you on blast. Return the favor. Post it far and wide on social media. Just name clearing. Make it clear you're only posting because she's lying about you. Update. My boyfriend, 26M, found out I'm 26F, rich and started using it against me. Original post. After I made the Reddit post, I tried to have a conversation with him, but he kept stonewalling me. He made more snide comments and I decided to break up. When I told him that I was leaving him, it felt like he was expecting it. He called me a rich bitch, and went on a rant about how I was leaving him because he was poor. Some commenters told me to expect this, but it still came as a shock. He and I have very good salaries and I don't know why he said that. He was a good person most of the time I knew him. Some people asked me why I didn't warn him about my wealth. All my relationships before him were with people in my social class, so the expectation of wealth was implicit. Having wealth was not a big deal in any of my previous relationships, so I assumed it was the same in this one too. I'll warn my partners before taking them home in my future relationships. This is a tangent but I wanted to talk about, I'm not rich, my parents are, thing that many comments suggested. A lot of my friends from wealthy families use that line as a defense but it is misleading. If I wanted to, I could dip into my parents' finances. I choose not to, but it is still my wealth too. It might technically be my parents' money, but it still makes me wealthy. And having wealthy parents comes with a lot of privileges even if I don't actively use their money. I never had to work a job when I was studying. I had access to the best schooling. I don't have student loans and my parents' connections open a lot of doors. Having a safety net let me find what I was good at and let me take risks. So, unless they are estranged from their families, children from wealthy families are also wealthy. I thank all the people who commented on my original post and gave me advice. I felt like I was doing something wrong, but you made me see that it was his insecurity and jealousy that was the issue. Having a safety net let me find what I was good at and let me take risks. Excellent point. A lot of people don't understand how big of a deal that is. Even if you're not taking risks, just knowing if you get laid off, get injured, have your house burned down or whatever, that you have a safe place to go to and money to get back on your feet can be a huge stress relief. You sounds like you have a good head on your shoulders. I'm sorry he pulled the "because I'm poor" card, but you know it isn't true and don't internalize it. You broke up with him because he was acting like an asshole. What upsets me about this is that you have such a great attitude about this, but your ex still couldn't cope. I grew up very poor, but my friends were quite well off as I lived in a fairly wealthy area. Like you, they weren't total wankers, so this wasn't an issue. I can't see what your ex's problem is here. Good for you. I just wanted to point out that it may not be the best idea to broadcast your family's wealth when dating. I think it's appropriate to wait until the relationship is more serious before mentioning it. Having been in your now ex-boyfriend's shoes before, I think this is his problem. When I was told of my then-girlfriend's wealth, it didn't change anything between us. But it was nice to know before I met her family, so I wasn't surprised. I just want to say I really appreciate that you understand your wealth and how it has opened doors for you, provide you with comfort which leads to opportunities. People who have generational wealth, I am not one of them, are not bad people. They aren't spoiled or anything like that, but they are lucky. I think if more wealthy people had your attitude, "Yes, my family's wealth has helped me," the world would be a better place. And good riddance to the boyfriend. I really appreciate how much you grasp what your position and your parents' position in life gave you as far as built-in advantages. It's a shame your immature ex couldn't see past his own issues to recognize that you are quite aware and conscious of your own privilege. His loss. Good luck on the next one. Glad you got away from that mess. His insecurities are suffocating. My girlfriend has her apartment paid for, her law school covered with 0 loans, and gets an allowance every week. As for me, I didn't come from much and my family was in debt a lot. My mom even had to sell off bonds for my college education to cover my dad's debts while I was still a baby. But all that being said, I never used her relative privilege against her, so this dude can fuck all the way off. LMAO. You seem to have a solid, realistic view of the benefit that your family's wealth brings you. That's awesome, and not always common. I'm sorry that one guy was a jerk. I've never understood guys being insecure when their partners have more money than them. My wife made more than me at periods in our relationship. I make more now, but if she got some giant raise I would absolutely jump at being a kept man. Let me quit my job and dinner would be on the table at 5:30, laundry done, house cleaned, kids' school work handled,